that Whitney and Heather wanted to continue to berate Meredith really irritated me. It really does give credibility to what a lot of viewers have complained about with these two, is that they're always trying to produce a moment. So often their moments that they're producing fall flat, and that they get really stuck on a narrative and don't want to let it go. So even though Meredith is finally opening up and telling them what they've always wanted to know, it still wasn't good enough for Whitney and Heather. Even though she's being transparent, she's talking about the things that are hard for her, she's crying, Whitney and Heather are still demanding ultra specificity from her. They're still demanding that you should come to us, we're your friends. Nothing is gonna be good enough for them when it comes to Meredith. And Whitney and Heather do like to position themselves as morally superior. They want to position themselves as more mature, more emotionally aware. They have better emotional intelligence, almost like the therapist of the group. But they do struggle at times with compassion, with grace, and with empathy, especially Heather. Heather is quite judgmental, and I question if that comes from her past and this ultra controlling religion that does dictate women's behaviors and really does dictate the behaviors closely of everyone who's involved in this religion. So for me, I hated seeing how they reacted that way. And if we're talking about being a good friend, horrible friends, they're not friends. Clearly, they're not Mary's friends. They don't care about her. I hate hearing them say, we're your friends. You got to open up to us. But even if we look at it from a housewife perspective, horrible strategic move as a housewife. Something I know that Whitney and Heather like to do is think about this as a strategy. How do you think people are going to respond to seeing Meredith so emotional and opening up, and you guys are still attacking her? You're still just beating it over her head. And I especially thought that was true with Meredith leaving and Heather went after her. I don't believe Heather went after Meredith out of concern. It was because the scene was not over. Heather went after Meredith because that scene was not finished, and Heather wanted to finish that scene and finish that moment. I do not believe she went after Meredith out of any concern. It was purely for the show.